Hey, what's happening, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to the Pulver Report. It is 9 o'clock on the 14th of June. Let's go ahead and kick things off this morning. Nice to see everybody. So let me check a couple of things with the old camera. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's get started. Let's talk about some stocks, options, Forex, and cryptos. Pretty good setups this week, and the week ended on a positive note. I want to see if we get some follow through this week on some currency pairs. So I'm going to go into the risk disclaimer here in just a second. And if you're out there typing a wire, yes, if you can hear my screen. What's my screen saying? Saying what's up. Hey, good morning, Wayne. If you can hear my voice and see my charts, that's the most important thing, which I'll get to the charts here in just a minute. Let me go to my risk disclaimer, because we understand there's risk in trading, right? You know the deal. Okie dokie. All right, let me switch over to the risk disclaimer very quickly and shrink myself. Okay. We understand there's risk in trading, everybody. Please and always trade with risk capital only. Do not trade with money you can't afford to lose. Whether you're trading stocks, options, futures, Forex, cryptocurrencies, whatever asset class you are trading, understand the risks. All right. I'm here to talk about things that are for educational purposes only. And we have some fun. Okay. All right. Let's get to the charts. So, like I said, kind of a positive note to finish on from last week. I want to talk about the dollar index. The dollar index. All right, so dollar index. We had a nice little push Friday. I'm going to take a look at the currency strength chart. And here is a little sneak peek of it. So here's today's currency strength chart. Again, things are fairly quiet. Pound was one of the softest pairs this morning, coming off those lows and getting back towards the baseline. We have the New Zealand. We have the Aussie. We have the CAD. We're still going to take a look at oil and dollar index crosses, look at some currency pairs. But if we go to Friday, this is the one thing that stuck out to kind of finish on a positive note. The dollar came ripping back on Friday. This is all Friday's trading. The dollar just really around 7 a.m. Eastern time just became very strong and stayed very strong for the day. So dollar strength, we have some decent posture right now. I don't think this is necessarily the full-on dollar move. I think we're still going to head up to some highs and lows to test. The dollar's probably still in for some corrective moves. So I want to take a look at a really close look at those dollar crosses today. All right. And if you see where we're at, let's look at the dollar index. Okay. Dollar index. Did you notice that we're right back up towards these non-farm payroll highs? So from June 4th, which was a Friday, non-farm payroll Friday, the high was right there around, what's the high of that candle? High of that candle is 90.62. Do you see price breaking above that right now? Yes or no? No, we haven't broken above it. So even though it looks like we're on a promising a promising move to get to those highs, we didn't break them. And so I think that this is still, if we break these highs, great. If we break these highs on the dollar index, we break this high right here, excellent. We can head back up into this monthly target. We can head back into this high. We can head back into this weekly or this yearly pivot around 94. But if we can't break there, I think all we're doing on the dollar is this. We're still correcting. This past support becomes resistance, and the dollar continues to jump around in kind of a corrective manner. Now, if we stay in this corrective manner like I'm identifying here, I still think the dollar has one more move to the downside to retest these lows from January. And then we start looking for a bigger reversal pattern. Okay, so I will tell you what I plan to do this week on the dollar crosses. I am still holding long dollar CAD, long dollar Swiss, short New Zealand dollar, short Aussie dollar. I want to take a look at those. All right, so let's start in alphabetical order. Go Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar on the daily chart. All right. We have a nice little trade running with our robot. My Flex Trading Room students are in with, most of them have the Price Action Pro with me. That's a great robot that allows us to get in. We got filled right up here. Right up here in that pullback, we got filled. We are in a decent amount of profit right now. But my aim is to see if this Aussie dollar will come back to, you can see that we're holding some really nice resistance off of this month's target. Okay, so that blue line is the monthly pivot. If we stay below that, I'm looking for some fresh lows on the Aussie dollar. I'm looking to see if we can retest these lows, which is around 7,600. And ideally, you can see this automated trend line here. That's a 200 exponential moving average on a daily chart. If we come back down to that low, I am for sure getting out of this trade with some profit. Now, what I'm contemplating right now is, are we going to stay below this monthly target and keep pushing lower. And if we do, then I'm looking to hang on to this Aussie dollar towards that low around 76 and this daily 200 EMA. If we come back up and retest, let's say we come back above the monthly target and we come back up to these highs again, I'm still going to sell it. If we come back up to this high, let me use a straight line here. If we come back up to this high around 80, 8,000 even, I'm still going to sell it. Okay, so until this 200 EMA gets hit, I'm still going to hold Aussie dollar short. So what I might end up doing is this week, if we end up pushing down a little bit lower, let's say we come close to this low. I still have chart alarm set on the Aussie dollar to the downside. If we come back down towards this low, I might end up taking some profit a little sooner than I want to, but protecting and then looking to get back in. You know, we might have some really indecisive dollar movement. We might not see any trends on the dollar. And so if this just chops around here for the next couple of weeks, if I can take some profit at or near these lows, get back in, take some profit at or near these lows, get back in, I might be able to do that a couple of times over the coming, let's say 2 to 4 weeks. And that would, to me, that's better than, sitting and holding 1, 2, 3 positions bearish and then having it, it must go all the way down to 7,600 or lower. So I'm going to look for some scalping opportunities on some dollar crosses. I'm going to stay with some dollar strength, and it's mainly the pairs that I mentioned: Aussie dollar short, a New Zealand dollar short, dollar CAD long, dollar Swiss long. Okay, so those are the pairs I'm looking at. This 200 EMA is a nice measurement for me on the daily chart. Those are the levels I'll be watching the most. Right, everybody can see my screen, right? My face isn't too big out of the way. All right. Okay. All right, so that's Aussie dollar. Let's go New Zealand dollar. Okay, New Zealand dollar, same thing. We might be pulling back to the weekly pivot right around 71.60. If we can hold that level, let's say we pull back a little bit, head back down, pull back a little bit, head back down. Chart alarms are set. I'm looking at that daily level, right? Look at this previous low from March and this daily 200 EMA right around 70.50 to 7,000. If we can hit this level, I will be taking profit. I am in, if I'm not mistaken, let me check what I'm in here. Dollar, New Zealand dollar, I am in currently 6 positions short on this pair. So what I'm hoping for is if we push any lower on this Kiwi, I'll be taking some profit on most of those pairs, or most of those orders, probably all of them. Probably all of them. I mean, I could see us hitting the exponential moving average. That's a profit target for me. If we hit that, great. If we go lower to retest this level at 69.50, that's a structural low. That's a support level coming back into this nice little pivot cluster as well. I mean, this would be target 1, the daily EMA, and then target 2 would be the equal lows from March. But in this window, I am taking all of my profit on this New Zealand dollar to the downside. For this week, if we end up pushing back up to these highs, I'm still going to short it. I'm still going to stay short. And what I'll be looking to do is try to get back down to these lows, right? And still keep an eye on that daily level. So hopefully we see some dollar strength continue over the next, couple of days. If so, anything with some fresh lows, I'll be looking at protecting that. We'll be talking about that this week in the Flex trading room. Dollar CAD, this is another one. Dollar CAD could make a quick run up towards 2,400. Okay, now I say could make a quick run because we may not be done yet. We might have this one, make one little move to the upside, coming down one more time to retest the levels, and then we have to look for more of a rounded out bottom, maybe more of a obvious bullish pattern. Maybe it's not there yet. Okay, maybe it's not there yet. So I remain, pretty patient and still pretty committed to the dollar CAD. And I think dollar CAD for target 1 for me, if we're going up, target 1 is going to be 2,400. Excuse me, target 2 is going to be up here towards 2,600. This is another one with the daily exponential moving average. It is right here. Current value is sitting at, so let me get a measurement there. We are currently sitting around 26.60. So from current price to the daily level is around a 520 pip opportunity. That is why I'm long. I think directionally we've got a pretty good opportunity to be long. It might be a reset this week. Maybe it comes back down and hits the lows at 1.20 or very close to it. And we just carve out some lows here, and then we have to start working our way back up. Maybe it takes longer. I mean, I'm hoping that we just end up going straight up, right? If we do, awesome. This is an easy trade. But if we end up coming down here and consolidating and this EMA slightly goes lower, I still think when it's ready, it's going to be a fast move to that daily target. And so if you are familiar with my right trader system, let me show you what that looks like on my MetaTrader chart here. Take a look. So this is what I'm looking at for my MetaTrader 4. Let me make this a little bit bigger for everybody and draw this in yellow. So if we see price breaking above, you can see these two green lines that I have. If price breaks above this resistance, I'm going to get aggressively bullish towards this little pocket and that EMA that I talked about, which is around 2660. So that would be, for me, a pretty aggressive add-on. Let me hit F11. A pretty aggressive add-on from this level around, looks like 2200 all the way up towards 26 and change. Okay, 26 and change. So hopefully we have, a solid 400 to 500 pips of opportunity to work with on the dollar CAD when it's ready to confirm. It was, like I said, a promising move last week, I thought at least. It's a 200 period, Chris. 200 period, that's it. So it was a promising move last week. I was telling traders all week, we have to see at least a daily close above, okay, above the monthly. And you see this little blue line, that's a monthly target. So we are sitting right at it, right on it, and price isn't really, holding right now. Now, all I'm going to do is set a chart alarm here. Chart alarm at 2178. If we break it above recent highs. Okay, if we break that, we're going above recent highs. And my chart alarm is also set at the lows because if we break this high, excellent. Let's make some profit towards 24. If we retest the lows, do we come back down and tag the lows? If we do, I'm looking for divergence. From there, I'm looking for bullishness. This might just go sideways longer. This might have to carve out a low and it drags on. Like this capitulation move drags on to form the bottom. Maybe it has to form some type of falling wedge. And eventually this breaks the trend line and goes back to 24, back to 26. And this could be a big move like I'm talking about. So if it's not going to pay us this week, sit tight. I think we still have some promising dollar movement ahead. But if we do have some dollar follow through from Friday, that's great because we can make a quick run into, I'd say, this level, which is around 2250. And possibly, like I said, back into this pocket and pass support around 2400. So we'll be watching those levels pretty closely this week in the Flex trading room. Dollar Swiss. I'd like to see a little bit more time spent on the right-hand side of this trend line. And if and when we do, I'll start looking to level myself in a little bit more aggressively, but I'm not quite there yet. All I've done is deployed my Price Action Pro robot, and it is in two trades. It's in a trade here, it's in a trade here, and my break-even is around 91.16. So this is where I'm sitting, around 91.16. If I start to add more, it's going to be probably down near these lows with my robot. This will be kind of position 1 and 2 and 3. And from there, I'll start looking manually to start building this back up to a trade towards 9,400. So dollar Swiss, like I said, I need to spend a little bit more time over here. If we spend time on the right-hand side of the trend line, then we'll start talking about testing some levels, maybe a couple small add-ons in this group, like this area, and then another couple of add-on trades down here, add one, and then see if we can get this thing to go up towards 93, 93.50. Okay, a couple of good levels there on dollar Swiss. Right, other currency pairs I'll be focusing on this week. I still like Euro CAD. I'm still long Euro CAD, and hopefully this will cooperate. In fact, I think for Pound CAD and Euro CAD to cooperate, and dollar CAD for that matter, we have to see oil cooperate. Oil's at 71.46. Okay, daily candle last week closed higher, closing higher. We're just in drift mode. This does seem to be kind of the last hurrah from this low, drifting on oil. I would be very shocked to see oil move too much higher than $75. Okay, I'm not saying that it can't, not saying that it won't, but with this recent, look at that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Of 17 daily candles, we have 14 of them are bullish. That is a low volume drift melt up. I think that's kind of the final sign of when this is done, when oil is done, I think we have a pretty good opportunity to short oil. Okay. And, technically I think it's out there. I think that the oil play is a good short. We just need to see this thing confirm. So patience. And that's what we've been talking about a lot in trading is, I mean, these setups are right there. The technicals are, really, really solid on the charts. I like what I'm seeing. I like the divergence. I like the overbought, oversold conditions. I like the time. I like, all these things I'm liking technically. But fundamentally, maybe it's not there to fuel the move yet. Price action wise, it's not there starting to, it's not there confirming the move yet. Okay? So, see what I'm saying? Like oil might drift up into this 75 level. From there, I'm looking for topping patterns. And I think oil comes back down either in a 3-wave type move like a correction, or we end up just dropping. Like this could go up very quick, drift up higher and then just drop very fast. I don't know. But regardless, I think that oil from the $75 area, I'm looking for price to drop into the low 50s. And if that's the case, Euro CAD looks great. Pound CAD looks great. Dollar CAD looks great. CAD Yen looks great. CAD Swiss looks, everything against the CAD looks pretty good. Aussie CAD looks bullish. New Zealand CAD looks bullish. So if oil cooperates, from this high down, I think that we have an amazing CAD basket trade. And I'd be looking for CAD weakness. Make sense? All right. So that's a little CAD love. And so that way I can show you the Euro CAD. Euro CAD, which is sitting at 47.20. And again, on the higher time frame, could we drop a little bit lower on the Euro CAD? Sure. We could drop in a little bit lower. We could possibly test this low again. We're already in this nice little pocket area. We could have one more push, right? Maybe this is a little correction here. Maybe you have one more push to the downside on Euro CAD. Maybe it pulls back in another correction. Maybe you have one more push to the downside, and then we have a big reversal pattern coming. I do see Euro CAD as a range opportunity to really buy low, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm looking to buy extremely low, which is why I'm in this trade. Okay, let me get rid of all my doodles. So if I buy the Euro CAD starting in here, this is my support window, and I try to take this up to 5,000 again or higher, or try to take this all the way back up to range highs at 5,900. That's a big opportunity to buy low and take profit at resistance. So to me, that's a pretty big looking opportunity for Euro CAD. I'm going to stick long on that one. Pound CAD. This one has been ridiculously slow. I'd like to see price break. I'm just going to set a chart alarm again at 71.75. 71.75. Okay, if we can break this high, breaking, let's go. That's the chart alarm that I want to send to my phone. I want to see price break above it. If we break and close above it, I'm looking for this to continue up. Even if we use past resistance to become support, I'm looking to stay bullish on Pound CAD. Okay. So my goal on Pound CAD is to get to this area here. Anything around 70, I like 75 to 74. So let me put this in green here. Okay, so I'm going to stick long. I'm in at 69.87 with a robot. I added again here around 70.40. So I have trade 1, trade 2. I did take a scalp last week for about 140 pips or so. And I'm looking to see either I get a chance to add to it again, and I'll add to it at these lows around 70.40. All right, and I'll just hold, or I get a break above and I look for past resistance to become support. I add again, buy again, add again, buy again. And I try to stack up some winning trades towards this green box. Anything inside this green box from 74 to 74.50 to 75, I'm looking to take some profit. Okay, so that's Euro CAD, Pound CAD. Another one that's looking pretty good. Again, this is kind of a position trade that I'm looking to build, would be the Euro Swiss. So we have this kind of long anticipated correction. All I'm going to do is set a buy level. I have Price Action Pro in. It's filled around 109.50. I have a couple other orders in, but I think this is a good spot to at least start with. And I'm actually going to take Euro Swiss. Let me see here. I wish I would have taken the trade right at the open on Sunday, because that would have given me a nice little scalp. That pivot was around 26 pips. Big deal. But I do think that if we are, looking at the idea of this support holds, let's say we go down one more time, I'm interested in buying equal lows. If we go down one more time, interested in buying equal lows. I'm going to keep looking to buy equal lows as much as possible. When this is done, whenever this Euro Swiss is done, I think we have a trade coming at least back to this high and possibly higher. So I'm interested in starting a small trade here and then another trade down here. So around current price, 108.93 is fine. And then my next level would be around 107.50. So small trade. My target would be up here. 11.50 or all the way up towards like 12.50 or higher. I think I have a chart. Is this one? No, it must be on my smart trader chart. Let me check. Euro Swiss. It's on another workspace. I'm looking for like 12.50 to 13.50 for profit. It's right up in here. I do have a nice little box that I can draw here. So this area is my profit target. Okay, so Euro Swiss, I'm going to take a look at that one now. Let me see if I can put in a pending order at the lows. That's 108.70. 108.70. All right. So I'm going to put in a small buy trade at 108.70 right now. 1.0870. Take that expiration out. There we go. 108.70. And I'll see if that gets filled. Okay, that's right back in here. Past resistance becoming support. I do like that spot. I'm actually going to take a smaller trade and just do it at market at 94. And 108.45. 108.50. Okay, so this is the plan. This is a nice impulsive move, correction. Impulsive move, correction. So I'm looking for this to build back up again, past resistance becomes support, and then have one more wave to the upside. Once we get here, once we possibly get all the way up here, fantastic. Okay, so would I possibly, protect profits a little bit earlier? Yeah, maybe. But the plan is to build in this area pretty small, add to confirmation on the right-hand side of the trend line, and get up towards 1,300 or higher. If you're interested in all this, I'm talking about, lots of adding positions, adding to winning positions. There's a YouTube video I have on my Keep It Seriously Simple playlist. You can check that one out. It's called Adding to Winning Positions. I've had a lot of great feedback from that lesson. It's really the way that I end up making the most money throughout my trading year. It takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of commitment to direction. But once you get price showing you that, hey, probabilities are we're going in this direction, you start looking to add positions, build up positions. But again, you have to believe in these trades. You have to believe in these directions. And it takes, planning on higher time frames and commitment, lots of patience. But it works. It's what allows me to put together those really nice gains and injections through the year, where maybe 3 or 4 months of my year are like, big gains. And I love them because that will keep me consistently profitable throughout the year. Okay. All right. Let's take a look. So that's about it for currencies for right now for Forex. I would like to take a look at some cryptos. So I had some highlights over the weekend. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is breaking to the upside, 4623. I'm just going to say this. Okay. And maybe I'm going against the grain here, but I'm not that excited about Bitcoin going too much higher than maybe $44,000. Okay, now, granted, it came off the lows and we're heading back up towards this monthly target. That's fine, all right? But I will be watching these monthly pivots, these monthly targets, because I feel like if we hit them, if we hit this June target and we start to fall back down, that does not surprise me at all. And so in the short term, I have some trades running that I picked up at these lows, and if we hit this monthly target, there's a lot of opportunity just for short-term gains, okay? So again, what I'm watching on Bitcoin is if we hit this monthly target, great. If I was long right here, I'm looking to get out for some profit. And on Bitcoin, I did not buy Bitcoin because we didn't crack the lows at 30,000. Okay, I'm still holding my original Bitcoin from back here around $4,000. I'm still going to hang on to that. I have not added anything to Bitcoin other than holding here, making some good money above 60K, and then I'm holding. I think this still has room to flush down again. All right. So that's my expectation. Right. So if we hit the monthly target, I'm looking for levels to take some short-term profit. And those coins include Ethereum. Okay. I bought Ethereum at 1850. If we hit that monthly target, I want to see what that is in the short term. 1850 to the monthly target. That's a 55% gain. I'm going to take some profit on that buy level. Do I think that Ethereum is going to come back down again? Sure, I do. High to low, consolidation, correction. Maybe it hits that monthly target and then heads back down to retest the lows or build lower, build another base, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, right? Just simple waves, high, low, lower, high, lower, low. And it could take more time, right? We still have the start of the base. We have this yearly target way down here. You know, anything at $1,200 or lower, Ethereum is amazingly attractive to buy. But if you bought it at 1850 off of those recent lows, we get back to, you know, 2,900. That's a 50+% gain. I would certainly look at taking some profit on that. I'm going to. Litecoin. I bought Litecoin at 120. If 120 off these lows up to that monthly target, that's a 91+% gain. I'm going to take some profit and I'm going to get back in at the same level. So if I hit this level, I'm going to take my profit. If it comes back down, I'm going to buy it again. You know? So I'm going to look to trade a lot of cryptos as opposed to hold a lot of cryptos. So buying over here, taking some profit here, now it becomes the trader's game, right? Now, then again, that's my opinion. If I don't think that we're going up to these highs anytime soon, this is why I decided to buy low, take a run back up into some decent structure, but I think that's a good short-term game. I'm willing to part ways with it. If this goes up, I still have some holdings in Litecoin. Okay, I converted about 90+% of that to cash. So I don't have a lot of holdings, you know, and would I miss out? Sure, I would miss out on this crazy run if it goes higher. But I think from this massive flush down, if we do not come back down to retest the low and we come up and hit this monthly target, I think we're just going to hit it, find past support becomes resistance, and work our way right back down. So that's my game. 90+%, I'll take it. If we hit that monthly target, that's what I'm watching this week. What else? I also got into Stellar Lumen. Okay, chart alarm actually hit this weekend for me, and I bought it back at the lows around 31 cents. I think I bought it at 31 cents in Coinbase. 31 cents, and there is a monthly target right around 50 cents. So again, short-term opportunity off of the lows. That monthly target sits around 65% of profit. So let me set that right there at 49.06. So monthly target. If we hit it, I'm going to take some short-term profit on that. Okay, Ripple. Monthly target. Recent support holding around 80 cents. And from 80 cents to that monthly target, that's a 46% opportunity to the upside, again, in the short term. I think Ripple also, as long as we hold this area, Ripple could be building in here. Past resistance becomes future support. It might consolidate for a while. Okay, what we'd have to look for is if it does consolidate, we're going to look for a breakout here and then look to see if we can get back to these highs. But that would be Ripple. Okay, any questions on these? We doing well so far? Are we following along? Short-term opportunities is what I'm looking for. Other ones that I like, Link, L-I-N-K. I bought this one this weekend as well. Chart alarm went off around $20. I bought it just over $20. If we go to this monthly target, $20 to around $33, that's a 65% gain. I'm going to take some profit. Okay? So all of my little short-term plays in cryptos are going towards this monthly target. Okay, monthly pivot. That's what I like to see. I'm going to take some profit. And, you know, I will get back in. If I take some profit here and price comes back down, I'll probably buy it again and do the exact same thing. Right? Take some profit, buy it at the lows, take some profit, buy it at the lows. Let's see if this consolidates. For once, you know what? You have to understand, we might consolidate. MARA going to 28. What do we have in this one? All right, we have Wall Street officially open. MARA going north. We bought some stock in this one last week at like 26 and change. We were willing to let this one go around $30 or $31, possibly higher. But we're going to keep an eye on this one. We have a bit of a strategy going to collect some credit on both sides. We'll see. I think this one has to get above $30 for us to let go of the stock and get it called away. It's Monday. We got a long week ahead for trading. All right. Anything else on the crypto side? We did Link, basic attention token. I'm not that interested in any longer. But similar. I do have a chart alarm set. I would consider buying this one at 50 cents. And this monthly target is sitting at $1. There's 100%, you know? So chart alarm set, 52 cents. If I bought it there, goes up, that's an 86% gain on BAT. I like that. How about Algo? Okay, this one's already hit it. So this one I'm holding around. I did not get a chance to buy this one. So I do have a chart alarm set around 70 cents. If we come back to revisit, this would be small position and then all the way back down towards 40 cents. But what I discussed with traders in my trading room is around $1. If we hold this dollar base, if we build a base here at $1 on algo, then we have a chance to come back up to these range highs at $1.80. And so if this is buy low, take profit here, buy low, take profit here, you can turn 80% gains with nothing but range trading. There's not a lot of stocks that offer that. There's certainly not currencies that offer that. Like cryptos could offer these incredible 40, 50, 60+% gains on nothing but range trading, which would be pretty exciting stuff. MANA, another one that I'm interested in. This one I'm in at $1. So this is like the only currency that the only crypto that I'm upside down on. I will be looking to revisit these lows if we get it. This is around 50 cents. If I can buy this at 50, that gives me right at 100% gain to get back to that monthly. So if I'm in at $1 and I buy more at 50 cents, then that puts a break even if I do equal sizing. Then I put it right around 75 cents, take that for a 25% net gain, and get out of it. So I think that this one could also head up to the target, head up to that monthly target, possibly flush back down. I'll buy it low and then hold it again later. Okay. Ton of catalysts coming out for Bitcoin, Dogecoin. Daniel, I think you said that last week as well. Didn't you say that last week? Yeah, I know. I mean, look, there's going to be a ton of crypto stuff because it's mainstream now, right? Cryptos are as popular and as discussed as stocks and currencies, right? I mean, people now, you talk about stocks, people now talk about cryptos. So you mean catalysts. I mean, again, if the catalysts are going to drive price, then you're right. There's a ton of catalysts, but it could also be just a bunch of noise, you know? And everyone just kind of jumps in on this speculation of, oh, is Dogecoin going to rally again? I don't know. You know, to me, Dogecoin has nothing to go after. If this monthly target was available and Dogecoin came back down to, 20 cents, then I would say, okay, we can go back up to 40, 45 cents and take this for 100% gain. But the pivot's been hit. To me, it's like Dogecoin's done right now. If we come back down to the lows, come back down to this crazy breakout point, like take a stab at it at 10 cents and see if it ever gets back to 70 cents. There's your gain. But would I touch Dogecoin right now? No. Bitcoin, I think we're going to struggle. I think Bitcoin is going to struggle around that monthly target, which it honestly could be getting there this week. Speaking of Bitcoin, take a look at this. GBTC. Okay, so interesting that Bitcoin is, creeping up very close to that monthly target, and GBTC is at $30.78. So what is it why isn't the gap being filled? Why is this one lagging behind? I don't know. But I'm in this one at 27, and I'm looking to get out at 35.50 actually. So, buy this at 27. This is my GBTC. Bought this. We talked about this several times in the Pulver Report. Bought it here, and that is around a 26% gain. So I'll look for it. I put a couple $1,000s in GBTC. If we go up, I'll make some money on it, walk away. Okay, so that's my stance on cryptos. I'm looking for June monthly targets to get hit. If they get hit and I'm up 40, 50, 60+%, I'm taking some profit on those recent entries and scalps, and I'll look to reload back at those lows again. All right. I still think that cryptos have some time to marinate. I still think that cryptos have time to get flushed back down. Again, I could be dead wrong. This is it. This is the bottom, and Bitcoin goes to the moon. Maybe it does. But technically speaking, I don't think we're done. High, low, lower high, lower low, consolidation here. One more time. I think we have one more push. We have two good levels here. Mining costs, by the way, have been going down. Which truthfully is not a good sign for cryptos. If mining costs are going down, that's not a good sign for cryptos as far as overall value and how far they stretch away from those mining costs. So food for thought. Okay, stock-wise this week, let's take a look at the major indices. Okay, so S&P did crack the highs last week, barely. We have virtually no momentum in these higher highs in stocks. We also have very little volume to the downside. What we're seeing is the melt up continuing. Okay, so if you look at the 10-year note, let me get this out of the way here. If you look at the Treasury, the 10-year note, TNX, we're at 1.47. I think I will be having some discussions this week to start locking in a mortgage for a mid to late September close on a new house. And right now that par rate is sitting around 3.08 was what I saw last Friday. We're at 3.03 Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna do my best to get a sub 3% locked in. I know it's gonna cost me some money, but I do not want to see, man, MAR has taken off, but I do not want to see, these rates trickle higher. I don't want to see the 10-year note, kind of sneakily going up above 1.7 without me having stuff locked in for a new home. So again, if anybody's out there, refinancing homes, closing on homes, looking to buy homes, I'd say that we have, as long as the TNX remains below 1.75, and I'm liking the fact that we're pushing lower. This just means that this gets more and more attractive. Okay, this can keep the real estate market running a little bit hotter because with low inventory, it's still a low interest rate environment. So if people are able to close on houses, again, if you're closing on a house for 3% or less, you can get a lot of value for that house. Meaning like the dollar actually does go a long ways. A lot of people are buying bigger homes because interest rates are super low. I closed on a house literally 3 years ago at like 4.2%. And we've refied a couple of times. We're at 2.7 right now. And now with the new house, we're looking to close around, 3 on this new home. But it's like we're getting a much bigger house. So anyway, this is what I'm watching. We talked about this a lot because it's important. Owning a house, closing on a house, selling houses, these are big adult decisions, but I'm happy that the 30-year note's been going down, 3.03, the 15 years at 2.42. And this 10-year note has a lot to do with that. So mortgage rates will fluctuate based on this instrument. So this is what I watch. And we have been slowly going lower. And so I want to be in that. I want to try to time this right where I can keep those rates as low as possible. SPY, like I said, melt up continues. There's no trend line breaking. There's no closing below this monthly target, 415. We'll see. Could we have some indecision here on the SPY? Maybe. We are holding some positions in equities on demand that are directionally neutral. So if the SPY is going to continue to melt up and blow these highs off by another 4, 5, 6%, we'll be profitable. If we have a bit of a collapse and a retracement coming back down to these lows in May, we'll be profitable. It's hard to think that we can keep going higher, but I'm certainly not going to fight it. It's like we can go higher. We are going higher. We're melting up. There's just less volume in it. Okay. And one thing that's interesting is a lot of the growth of the SPY is also being triggered by the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is right back up towards new historical highs back in April. So if the NASDAQ taps new highs, look at your FANG stocks, look at your FANG man stocks. Throw Tesla in there as well. You're seeing growth again starting to surface. Okay, the Dow Jones underperformed. Look at the difference. Okay, SPY up to the highs, NASDAQ up to the highs, Dow Jones not. So that's right. Like I said, that's the growth look. Essentially you have this kind of two-faced stock market. You have growth and you have value. We had a lot of growth last year after the bottom in March. We had all growth, in fact, after the bottom in March. Once we started to stretch into this year, we started to see a little transition. When the NASDAQ sold off, when the QQQ sold off, what was this, like 11%? From this high to low to start off the year, the NASDAQ was down almost 12%. And then we ended up fighting all the way back and making new highs. Well, we sold off again. Right here, another 7, almost 8%. The NASDAQ does look like this type of move. I think that it's getting closer and closer to running out of steam and running out of speed until something bigger has to happen. I think that is the reality that we have to deal with later. But I think that's getting kicked down the road. And again, it doesn't have to just roll right over and start to fall. We could see the NASDAQ get to this level and start to go higher. Have that capitulation move to blow out those highs, and then a lot of profit taking, a lot of trailing stop losses. And I got a lot of chart alarms going off right now. MOMO. That should be good for us. Yep, with the Master Blaster trade. All right, I'm going to get logged into my stock account really quickly, and we'll go another like 5 minutes. Any questions for me so far today? Covered a lot of currencies: dollar index, dollar CAD, dollar Swiss, Euro Swiss, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, some CAD crosses, Euro CAD, Pound CAD, CAD Swiss, CAD Yen. Let me take a look-see here. Currency strength-wise for today, things are still on the quiet side. JPY is getting a little bit softer. CAD is still pretty firm today, but not a ton of movement. But MOMO is a good thing. To the upside, we have one of our Master Blaster strategies running for profit there. So I'm just going to get logged in. Okay. So any questions? Anything else? Filled at $1.60. Excellent. Good. So that should have been profit on that one, right? Did we close out of that one last week? We did. I was that's the one that I adjusted my take profit on, wasn't it? Yep. I adjusted that one I was trying to adjust it to up to $1.60, whatever, and so now it's filled at $1.60. Good. Okay, so that's excellent. So let me find that tracker doc. So here, and that should have been a Master Blaster trade. So MOMO. Yep. So I closed mine out there at 20 cents, and you're getting filled at $1.60. Set it, forget it. Sounds like that's where students are getting filled. So I think we can safely say we got 30 cents out of that one. So 30 cents out of a $1.30 spread. That's a pretty good chunk. That's a 23% chunk of profit on that trade. So 23.1 actually. Good. So MOMO should be closing for profit. Cool beans. Okay. Fantastic. That's what we like to see. All right. I'm trying to think anything else. Covered a lot today. We have... Nice. Catherine says, change to think or swim since Linda's getting such good fills. There you go. Yeah, maybe that's the secret sauce. Just have to go to the right broker. All right. So, like I said, we covered a lot. Cryptos. What I'm talking about in cryptocurrencies is following along with some of those monthly targets. Watch Bitcoin right here. Okay, we're creeping up to that June target. Watch Ethereum. Okay, if we tap that monthly target, watching Litecoin, these are levels I'm looking to take some profit at. So I'm not trying to be greedy with my cryptos. I have a lot of profit from here. I protected most of that cash. Okay, now I'm back in. I'm looking to scalp. If I take some money here and I buy more, take some money here and I buy more, and I can kind of piece together the structure, the technicals of what this is going to be for another leg higher. You know, what I don't want to do is I don't want to take all of my profit and then throw it right back in thinking like I'm going to go. I mean, obviously down the road, that's a huge investment, right? To take what money I put in back in 2017 and 19 in cryptos and have that turn into a lot of profit, then putting that all back in. No way. I'm putting the same amount back in. And so I'm going to take profit, which I did, converted a lot to cash, and I'm going to take the same amount here that I played with, and I'm going to reinvest it over here. Now, maybe I start scalping more. Maybe I start more short term. But then I'm willing to say, okay, I'll take the same amount and then hold it long term again. But if we have opportunities to buy, get some volatility, buy again, get some volatility, buy again, get some volatility, I can make more money in the next maybe 3 to 6 months if cryptos are not going ballistically higher. Okay? So I'm just kind of, you know, tempering my expectations of higher highs and to the moon and all this stuff with cryptocurrencies. I think right now I'm just looking to buy, target some monthly pivots, make 40, 50, 60% of those positions, and try to do it again. Good stuff? Okay. All right, traders, let us go ahead and do it for me today. So thanks for being with me today on the Pulver Report. I'll go and wrap up the live session. I'll see you again on Friday. We'll be live on Friday the 18th at 9 a.m. to wrap up the week. I'll see you all this week in Flex Trading Room. I'll see you this week in, actually the next 15 minutes for Equities on Demand and all week. And if you do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button for me, like the video. And if you're catching us for the first time, awesome. Happy to have you here. Hope you like the information, free education out there, and check out my other videos. Keep it seriously simple and other playlists, all that good stuff. Okay. So appreciate everybody. See you all this week in the trading room. See you on Friday to wrap up the week. And happy trading. Talk to you soon. Bye.